right, and welcome back to The Storm in a Teacup, not to be confused with A Storm in a Teacup.
Or two girls and a tea. What? I don't know.
The Storm in a Teacup, where boy meets girl, girl falls for boy, boy and girl open a CrossFit box? Question mark.
Boy meets world, and Mr. Feeney teaches him life lessons.
Mr. Forrest
Mr. Forrest
teaches life lessons.
Boy sees Topanga, gets a little tight in the crotch.
So this one's gonna
Forrest
be marked
gets
as
on that.
mature already. Yeah, just go ahead and put the mature tag on this one.
The mature tag? You mean the explicit tag?
What?
This podcast rated NC-17 by Forrest Long.
No, rated mature, like we're waiting for the podcast to ferment and get to a certain point before it can be served chilled on ice.
Ooh.
Mature.
Are you condoning the drinking of alcohol?
No, it's a.
Well, you're not drinking alcohol tonight, Forrest, because where are you tonight?
There's a lot of fermented
I'm in
beverages
the,
that aren't alcohol, Forrest. That's your. Don't project, man.
I don't know about any of them.
You're drinking one right now. I'm almost positive of it.
No, Forrest he's off site tonight. He's down south working an overnight shift. Forrest, how does that make you feel?
To work an overnight shift?
Sure.
It sucks, because as soon as I get off work, the sun starts coming up and my circadian rhythm kicks in, and I
I
go
think
to sleep.
I think your circadian rhythm is constantly kicked in. I think that's just a biological process.
God dang it.
Wasn't the circadian rhythm the thing that Mr. Spock created that Captain Kirk had to cheat
No.
at?
No, the circadian rhythm was an old wooden ship.
Actually, I believe it was Captain Crunch who. God, I'm missing today. Guys.
Oh, man.
I'm just gonna
Get out of
sit in
here,
the
Count
corner for the
Chocula.
rest of the episode.
Grow up,
Caleb
Peter
didn't
Pan.
warm up properly. Oh,
I
man.
didn't. How now, brown cow? How now, brown cow? Fee, fi, fo, fum. All right, I'm ready.
Okay, so Caleb's ready. Here we are, episode 999.
10 on my
And,
computer though.
Yeah, Taylor still hasn't figured out how he can actually rename episodes. If you click the file, Taylor, and hit F2, it'll bring up a rename
No, I'm on
prompt.
the metric system of numbering podcasts. That's why I'm one ahead.
No, Taylor is at home recording, and his screen is like a DOS screen. Like he's running DOS.
It's all black, and there's just the little blinking,
The command
the little
prompt.
command prompt in the top left-hand corner.
Meanwhile, Forrest is down in Chattanooga, and his screen is the Matrix just flowing down. And
Forrest has actually become the podcast.
So episode 9, the Open just ended last week. Let's see. So invites have been sent out to individuals. People are, scrounging around for those videos that they hopefully recorded, and if they didn't, they're redoing some workouts. Fingers crossed, everyone hits the scores they need to hit. We here at CrossFit K-Town had some athletes from, I guess, really around the country that made it to regionals individually. That at some point in time we've kind of touched their lives, if you will, touched by a K-Town.
Let's be
coach.
real here. I mean, we have dramatically tilted the axis for these athletes. I mean, we're a pretty impactful gym. I would like to say.
I think
from zero to hero.
I think we should do a YouTube video where we interview these athletes and they can show us on a doll where we touched them. Just to be clear.
Goodness.
Paint the picture for us, Taylor. Where do we touch athletes?
Definitely nowhere that the bathing suit covers, because that's what we learned at our level 1.
Yep, absolutely.
God, lawsuits are headed our way. So
remember
I want to
we
run
put
through my list. Forrest, it would be great if you didn't speak until spoken to on this podcast.
Can do.
So we've got Megan Galindo in SoCal. I think she qualified around 15th or somewhere around there. In the Southeast, we've got Brandon Bergen, which everyone in the Storm to Teacup knows about Brandon Bergen, yeah. He qualified individually, as did Bianca Blair, both of those in the Southeast. We've got Team Jacked and Tan from CrossFit K-Town that qualified, barely, just barely. And Steve Newberry in the 40 to 44 Masters division took 102nd, so he's moving on to, I guess we'll call it Masters Regionals, if you will. And then last but not least, near and dear to so many of our listeners' hearts, we have Alex Anderson from CrossFit K-Town who qualified, third in our region.
Tied with old Graham Holmberg, who Caleb's been rooting for years.
For years, but still hasn't made the jump from elite to top tier.
Do we want to have that conversation, really?
But every year, Caleb sheds that one Indian tear for Graham when he...
Hey, this is his best open finish. hey, Graham, I'm a rooting for yins.
So, yeah, Central East, Rich Froning snuck in first, and then in second place, Scott Panchek, and then third place, tied for third, Graham Holmberg and Alex Anderson. So, third place in the region, 25th in the world. I would say that we'll call it a successful Open, but sadly, no one cares about the Open placings. Or do they? That was an accidental segue into our next topic.
I care.
Man, he's a master. He's a master MC. Look at this man go.
My subconscious just, totally told me where to take that. I mean, so Taylor, you're in a different part of the world, how's the weather in your part of the world?
It's getting cold again, man. I'm not looking forward to it. But I'm going out for ribs tonight, so that's a plus.
Well, they always say that summers are shortest in Chi-Town.
I don't think that's a saying, but the summers are very brutally short here. So that's, it is true, but it's not a saying.
The coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in Chicago.
Oh, wow. Well,
I think that was San Francisco.
That is true. San Francisco, Mark Twain said that. So let's talk. I've got a question that I posed to the group, and I'd love to get feedback from all of our listeners. Maybe we can get you guys to post something on the old Facebook page, which has been blowing up lately with 3 likes on some of our statuses now. So that's big.
We've actually capped the amount of likes you can get within 1 week. So calm it down, guys. Calm it down.
I hear that over 100 people know of our podcast, so I think we're on the up and up.
Yeah.
Are we counting gym members in that?
That's all I'm counting.
Okay. Got it.
That's who we're counting on.
That's counting the 3 of us for us, so I mean, we're really counting
now that
everything.
Now that we have the new shirtless frontman, Grant Scalf,
there we go.
We can just aim for the stars.
So Taylor, when you say the 3 of us, who are you not counting in the 4 of us?
Oh, Forrest for sure.
Okay, I gotcha. And Forrest, you aim for the moon. That way, if you miss, you land among the stars.
Yep.
Aren't the
Although
stars
the moon's
further
closer,
away?
so that doesn't make any sense. But we'll just run with it.
Yeah. I will not run with that. I will just.
It's because you
crazy.
don't run, Forrest. You haven't run
what?
since '93.
I will row with it. I will air
Fight
with
or flight. Forrest has always taken the stance of fight. Back-to-back World War champs. I think we all know his stance.
Hasn't let me down yet.
All right, let's talk shop. So I posed a question. Here's the question, and it's a little confusing, mostly because I just don't know the best way to word it because I'm dumb, but I'm going to try to get it out to everyone. I was curious what everyone thought. If you look at the open workout rankings, so where people finished on each individual workout this year, what their rank was, and which workout or workouts in the open will correlate best to regionals rankings once we see what happens at regionals. Does that make sense? Did I say that all right,
You're such
Caleb?
an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, like, what is the correlation from one open workout to regionals placing?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that right.
Okay. There you go. Forrest, try to keep up. So I know, did anyone do their homework on this one?
I did.
Okay. So at least we can start with Caleb, and then Forrest, you can rip Caleb's answers off, and then Taylor, you can be diametrically opposed to Forrest, because that's typically how the podcast works, right?
Yeah, I'm glad you mapped it out.
That is
just in general, so people are knowing where we're heading, because this is just going to
There is a flow chart out there. There's a flow chart out there of how the Storm in a Teacup conversations progress.
Caleb researches
that
and
is
comments. Forrest makes random accusations with no factual basis, and then I destroy them. That's.
I'm just gonna leave this
All
one
right.
alone.
So I'm interested. Should I give my thoughts and then, or at least give my ranking and then?
Oh, okay. Okay. What if let's slow play it? I'm not a producer by any means, but I say you should give your first, the one that you think correlates best.
Okay, 14-4.
Okay, so 14-4, number 4, and then I'm curious, Taylor or Forrest, do you have a different answer for which one correlates best?
No. 14-4.
Well, so far we spot on.
Well, that's not
Taylor,
fair. If anybody says anything other than 14.4, I'm going to pee on you. Do it, Layman. Do it, Layman.
Taylor, here's
God, that is the second week in a row you've talked about peeing on someone. Like we've got the R.
I
Kelly
have a
of
pee
podcasts.
fetish.
I wanna piss on you.
I'm a huge R.
Yes, I
Kelly
do.
fan. I don't get
I am
it.
too. Man, he's going on the Black Panty tour. Right now.
Just stop.
Heck yeah,
I think
Just
he's coming
stop.
to Knoxville.
I don't
want to know nothing about no black panty tour.
Here's your chance to get pissed on, Forrest.
Forrest has resorted to pissing on people because we all know what happens whenever he goes the full 9 yards.
I don't want to be peed on. I want to be the peer. I don't want to be the PE. That's not cool.
You want to be the pitcher, not the catcher of
Exactly.
urine. The pitcher of urine. PITC. Wait, they're both.
P-I-T-C-H-E-R, yeah.
Both like pitcher of piss.
Yeah.
Pitcher of piss.
And the vessel with which holds urine. The chalice of urine. Taylor, which workout correlates best for you?
Correlates
Not for you.
correlates best with
But-
my finish in the regionals.
No, not at all. No one cares about that. They only care about Brandon Bergen.
I would have to agree with 14-4. I would.
Well, that means you're agreeing with Forrest. You understand the repercussions.
I know. I tried the whole time you guys were arguing about how best to deliver Forrest piss upon unsuspecting people. I was actually trying to think of a way I could just argue around 14.4. But yeah, I don't think you can, just because it has the most. I mean, it's a chipper, which I like, but it also has the most skill, like high skill movements of. And it's got a decently heavy clean. I mean, I think no other workout is gonna even correlate really that significantly to regionals in my mind.
Yeah, I think that's spot on. It's a whole bunch of movements, almost all of which are likely to see at regionals, and the ordering of the movements, having toes to bar as that second movement, having the knockout 50. I mean, there's a high skilled movement that really requires quite a bit of athleticism and requires quite a bit of strategy on your pacing, because that's something that, hip flexors can go pretty quick.
Well, and
so
you got to
I-
make sure your technique on your toes to bar is good too. I mean, like there are people. I saw people who just like cramped out and they couldn't even do wall balls after their toes to bar because their legs were cramping and stuff. So I mean, you got to have your technique has to be on point too. Otherwise, it's not gonna fly.
Yeah. With all those movements, efficiency of movement is
Critical.
Yeah, is pretty crucial. So without giving away your next answers, Forrest or Caleb, do you have anything to add to our discussion on 14.4?
Nothing significant.
Forrest, would you like to piss on 14.4?
No, I mean, the only thing I would say is that Taylor sucks. And
Taylor, you don't know this, but Forrest beat you on 14.4.
No, we did not. He didn't even do 14.4.
Whatever you say. Okay,
Hey,
so I want to
hey,
go
you're talking to the guy who
to-
placed 599th in North Central region. All right, I'm pretty big deal. I don't think you beat me on piss.
No, he'll beat you on piss. What workout correlates second best for you, Taylor?
Second best?
Second best. We just did first best.
Who's second? What's second best?
Would it make for more interesting conversation if we went to least correlating?
That's great. That's absolutely great. Okay, Taylor, same vein of question, but which one correlates least for you?
Which one correlates least?
Yeah, keep repeating my question. That's great.
I always repeat the question so I get it straight in my mind because we're jumping around. I would say 14.3.
Okay, 14.3. Forrest, would you like to tell me yours?
Damn.
Or are you too busy chewing on stuff?
I said 5.
14.5. Okay. This one's going to be a good conversation. Caleb, what do you have?
I had. Wait, go ahead, Forrest.
I was gonna say 3 would be the second most useless one.
Okay, I knew you would do this. I knew you would do this.
I'm saying that there's a slight disagreement between Taylor and I. It's not a major disagreement.
All right, okay. All right. I guess I'll let that one slide. Yeah, I'm going with 14.3 as well.
Okay, I went with 14.3 as well. So the three of us, let's see, Caleb, Taylor, and I have the same answer on this. So Forrest, why don't you defend yourself on what has to be what did you call it in episode 3? The boner Trojan ends moment. What was that?
The Trojan ends boner of the week.
There you go. So why don't you just defend yourself on why 14.5 or 4 or 5, whatever it was, is the least correlative?
Because Fran is this stupid workout that everybody always does. So thrusters, I count thrusters out. Burpees are such a basic movement for us. If you can't do a burpee, then you should probably kill yourself. So anybody can do it. You can just weasel your way through this workout. I mean, it's not going to.
No. Okay. Let me take you on that. Are you, Forrest Long, gonna weasel your way through 84 thrusters and 84 burpees
at 95 pounds? Me right now? Why don't ask me that question again in like a month when I'm actually in somewhat of conditioning shape? And
okay,
yeah.
you in your prime, do you just kill it?
Do I kill it? No, but I have done double Fran, and when I did double Fran, we're looking at about I guess I'm doing more thrusters in that case, and I still
That'd be 90 thrusters. That'd be 6 more thrusters if my math serves me.
And I did like 12 and change on that. So, I mean, granted, this is completely different it's a completely different workout than what they did, but to say that like me, a 109-pound person can get through 90 thrusters.
Just to rehash real quick, you know that there are no burpees in Fran, right?
As I said, it's a completely different movement, but I would also say that Fran is probably worse than this Metcon. I would say double Fran is worse. Did you
do it?
Doing this? Yeah. I died in it. Adam Shipley still has the footage of me dying.
No, in 14.5. Did you do 14.5?
No, but I will at some point, and I'll let you know. But I still think that I can get on that and get that done. I mean,
14.5 wrecks some people.
Oh yeah, it's going to wreck me.
It kills you, Forrest.
When I get done with that, I'm not going to do anything for like 3 days. I mean, I've done Kalsu before. We could easily compare Kalsu in this.
I feel like at this point you're just workout dropping. Like I did double Fran, I did Kalsu. That was Saturday.
Why would I not relate it to things that I've done? I mean, Kalsu is the combination of thrusters and burpees and much heavier thrusters.
You know what I love about this conversation is that Forrest was like, well, 14.3 and 14.5 are really close, but we've positioned this argument to make Forrest like defend his stance, and now he's going to bat for this workout.
Defend
that he was like, well, it's splitting hairs, basically.
Forrest, defend your entire CrossFit life. Go.
This is the same argument that I would have when somebody's like, oh, I do CrossFit, I do Fran. I'm like, kill yourself. Why? Everybody always talks about that.
Okay, so I'm going to put in a nutshell what Forrest just tried to argue
for the masses.
5. Even though I don't agree with what he was saying, for the record, 14.5 is there's not one high skill movement involved. It is very lightweight, and while it does a good job of testing your mental fortitude and your aerobic capacity, and on some levels your muscular fatigue, there's nothing high skill about it. You can have average strength and a really great gas tank, and if you do great on that, you could go to regionals and you could be crushed by 80% of the workouts because they're going to have much, much heavier weight. So there it is. Agree, disagree.
I'm with you.
So
You
so
said
I'm
it
curious.
so much better than I did that I don't even understand what you just said.
Yeah, go back to sleep for us. So, but Caleb, you're saying you do not agree with that.
I do not agree with what Forrest was saying. No. So, not to jump the gun here, but 14.5 was my second to least correlative.
Okay.
So I can relate to what Forrest was saying as far as his position in rating on the list. So
I gotcha. I'm gonna bring up a little Chrome tab while we're talking here. Taylor, maybe tell me why you went with 14.3.
No, I just went off of, looking at just a kind of a overview of the data points, if you will, looking at how people finished. Like I thought with 14.3, you had more like random people who were not at all competitive in the open, finishing in high positions higher positions in 14.3 than in any other workout. And for that reason, I'm saying it's not as correlative to who's going to go to regionals and be successful. That was my primary rationale.
Yeah. No, I mean, I chose 14.3 as well. And obviously, like when you look at the data like that, like you're talking about, it's really easy to ferret out, I guess that conclusion. But what I would ask you is, from a workout standpoint, like why is that? Why did all these people from like the middle and the bottom of the leaderboard all of a sudden pop up to the top?
I think it's two movements that everyone does a lot, even if you have super minimal gym equipment. And I think a lot of CrossFitters deadlift constantly, a la Brandon Bergen when he first started CrossFitting, and probably still now, just deadlifting constantly and doing box jumps and doing pull-ups and like these kind of, basic movements. They're both of those movements are pretty low skill. And also, I think a lot of CrossFitters are willing to just go out there and like do some really bad rounded back deadlifts and just crunch out a whole bunch of deadlifts and box jumps. So,
yeah.
Let me ask you this. Would it change if it was not step ups and was box jumps? How much would that?
Totally.
It would change. It would change it completely.
It
would change. It would change a lot.
completely.
Yeah, it really would.
And that's what I was gonna say. I feel like Castro he usually does a pretty good job of like thinking through that. What is the rate at which athletes will be able to move? But the fact that people were able to step up, it allowed those really heavy guys who have those 500 plus pound deadlifts, but are heavy dudes themselves. Like you give them 2 sets of 15 rep box jumps, and they're going to be breathing way too heavy, and they're not going to want to pick the bar up at the same pace. But if they're able to step up and move consistently without any sort of dynamic movement involved, they're going to get back to the bar and they're going to go 10 or 12 reps unbroken at a 275 pound deadlift. So I thought that was where this workout kind of missed the aerobic element that it should have included.
Well, also, if you go to for me, the biggest thing, and I get irate the past 2 years. I've been irate the past 2 years when there's been a deadlift, box jump type workout, and you've been allowed to do step ups. Don't call it a box jump then. Just do just call it step ups. Number one. Number two,
box up.
Yeah, from ground to top of box, if you want to think of it that way.
Yeah, there you go.
But now, correct me if you want to go to.
I hope every movement eventually becomes like
ground to this
starting point to end point.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
But
between the legs to overhead
with a kettlebell.
There you go. You got it. We can make this a game.
But the real. The real issue is that at regionals you have to do box jumps. You can't do step ups. And people need to be able to do those to go to regionals.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Grant, but this back in the days of 1.0, the first time we did whatever that stupid workout is, didn't we do step ups? What's the one?
You talking about the hero workout?
No, not Filthy 50. God,
Murph?
Fight Gone Bad. We did Fight Gone Bad. Did we do step
There's nothing
ups?
wrong. Well, there's
And
nothing wrong with step ups.
Well, no, I'm not saying there's something wrong. I'm just saying that when we got done, and I compared my numbers to other people, I was like, damn, I'm elite. And then I was like, oh, wait. I didn't do the real workout.
Oh, wait. I lied on every rep.
I actually did not open my hips at the top of my step-ups.
You pulled a Danny Siddell on everyone, didn't you? Or Josh Golden.
Too soon, bro.
So-
Too soon.
So 14.3, I'm with Taylor on that. That's my least correlated workout because I think you have a lot of, especially guys that have come to the sport, come to CrossFit with a powerlifting background, or at least just like a weightlifting, and I don't mean Olympic weightlifting, I mean a lifting weights background. And so they have these big deadlifts. And like you guys said, the box jump was meaningless because it didn't have to be a box jump. It could be a step up. Also, the rep stayed at 15 the entire time. So that was, if anything, that was just a time for a little muscular rest. So you're not hitting that muscular fatigue, that localized muscular fatigue. So yeah, I would think that one correlates least. You just have kind of mid-pack and bottom-pack freaks that can deadlift 600-700 pounds that popped way up there. Not 600 or 700.
Artificially inflated scores is what I'm saying.
Well, that's what you would. Yes,
That's the
exactly.
ultimate argument. That's the end. That's what we're trying to say.
Okay, so let's move on. Caleb, do we want to go back to now the second most correlated?
Yeah, I like this little
Back and forth.
flippy floppy kind of thing.
Flippy
Yeah.
floppy.
Let's
Isn't that
do
a
it
song
then.
by
So-
Drake? Flippy floppy.
So this is going to be funny. I actually, yeah, I'm not even going
I think
to.
that was a song by Thomas the Engine.
Thomas the Train. Featuring Drake.
When I go through the depot, I go flippy floppy.
So second most correlated workout in the Open this year.
Start with Forrest.
I'm going to go first.
Oh.
I want to go first because this is going to blow your minds. I'm saying 14.5.
Ooh. Really?
Yep. So, and who all had 14.5 as their second least correlated?
I did.
So Caleb, Forrest, you as well, right?
No, I had it as it was my least. It was Caleb's second least.
Okay, got you. So least for you, second least for Caleb. Taylor, where's your 14.5 at?
I would probably put it. I mean, that's.
God, he didn't do his homework.
He
I
doesn't even
didn't-
have a list.
No.
Dang it, Taylor.
I put it right. I would actually put it right in the middle, to be honest with you.
Don't pull that.
Safe answer.
Yeah,
Safe answer.
don't-
No,
Taylor.
I know
crap.
exactly what I'm doing.
Grant-
It's in my head, man.
You all moderate.
Layman, shut up.
Okay,
Grant,
so
tell me
I wasn't
about it.
saying anything.
That's the mind of a Dartmouth grad. I don't have to do the work behind this. You
I'm
guys work for
smarter.
me.
I'm smarter than all three of these guys.
I can visualize it in my
Um,
brain as you guys are talking, and I
I
just
don't
came
even-
up with my list. Done.
I wish my half college education would have taught me how to visualize lists like that in my brain.
Visualize an attack. That's what I do.
Okay, so I'll defend why I think 14.5 is the second best. I think it's for the elites, which have the requisite strength. So first off, it's a shitty workout, and this is what I told our classes all day, because I was like, this is how you're gonna have to do your strategy, because really it's not a great workout in the programming sense to test fitness, because 95% of the population, they're going to get capped out on muscular endurance. You've got a horizontal push with the burpee, you've got a vertical push with the thruster, and the arms are just going to fatigue out. You're not going to be able to really test fitness. You're going to test that one localized aspect of fitness, arm, muscle endurance. So with that said, I do think that it correlates high because, if you're talking about who's going to regionals and how they're placing, you're talking about the top 5%, those guys that have the requisite strength and the guys that have the requisite skill to handle this. And so at that point, for that top 5%, that workout becomes pure work capacity. And at regionals, every year, you have at least one, if not two, purely work capacity workouts. And then, if that's not enough for you, how about Josh Bridges, Rich Froning, Ryan Fisher, Noah Olson, all these guys in the top 10. I mean, I think they're going to do kind of all right at regionals. Kyle Kasperbauer, Scott Panchek. Go ahead. Come at me.
Now, what I do like about this, and I think it's the mental battle, because that is a just damn difficult workout to put.
It's a
To
bitch.
get off
It's a
those
bitch.
burpees. Yeah, to look at that bar just sitting on the ground and being like, God, I've got to pick this thing up again. I think that's something that separates the elite from your average CrossFitters. Rich Froning wins that mental battle. He can go over there and pick that bar up, not set it down, and keep going. And same for the other guys, Josh Bridges, Scott Panchik. They win those mental battles where someone like myself, and probably even more so Taylor, who is the biggest little snatch in this group, we can't pick that bar
Whoa,
up.
back up. I did pretty well in that workout, Dick.
Biggest little snatch in the group.
I've never tossed 4 jump ropes due to double unders in one workout either.
Oh.
I've never tossed 4. I've probably tossed like 10 to 12 jump ropes.
All right, Forrest, I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you. I think that was probably mentally the easiest workout that there was. I think my second most correlative was 14.1 because I think that it was probably the most painful for those athletes that are proficient at snatches and very proficient at double unders. So if you're not tripping up on your toes, I think that was probably the workout that was most painful to look at a barbell and continue to pick up. So because of that, I mean, what you're saying about the deadlift workout 14.5 is that was kind of my mental reasoning for putting 14.1 as the second most correlative because, man, 75-pound snatch, it looks great on paper, but you do it 15 times for 7, 8, 9 rounds, and man, you are just in a bad place.
Well, no, I agree with you. I have one as my second one as well. So no, that 14.1.
Look at us, Forrest. Look at us, man. We're 2 peas in a pod.
You're just
14.1.
boy meets boy.
14.1 is the kind of Metcon where I'm throwing the bar somewhere. I'm probably throwing the bar at my judges. I'm throwing the rope across the gym.
Ronnie Teasdale,
horrible.
you.
Yeah, I pretty much am pulling a Teasdale on that one.
Man, I would love to get Ronnie Teasdale in the Storm in a Teacup. He seems like we could hang with him.
Yeah, he seems like a guy that would be down with 5 guys, 1 teacup.
Yep.
Totes.
So that's interesting that you have 1 as your second, I guess, most correlated open workout. I actually have it as my second least.
And I do as well.
I guess.
I do as well.
Well, let's go to
Taylor. He just marked that down on the napkin right now.
Taylor.
I've got a napkin and some nail polish that Jess left out, and I'm making a list.
You know that your computer has Microsoft Word on it. You could just type it in
Not
there.
my computer,
So-
dude. I have DOS. You know that.
Okay, so I have it as the second least, and I will agree with Caleb in that that workout sucked because it's so short. It was 8 minutes, right? Or is it
8.
10 minutes? It's 10 minutes.
it's 10
8?
minutes.
10? 8? 10?
Nah, it doesn't matter.
It's the short. I mean,
short.
it's super short. Well, the deadlift workout was 10, right? No, that was 8.
It was 10.
Yeah, I think it was 10.
14.1
Stop.
was 10.
14.1 was
Just
10.
go,
14.1 was 10.
Okay, because that's the gold standard is like hit 10 rounds in 10 minutes or whatever it is. So, anyways, that one you've got to get up to speed so quickly and then hang on for dear life. Like you've got to get up to 95%, 97%, and then just go and then hang on. But even though they are 2 relatively skilled movements, I went with my gut here and I put it behind, and this is in order, going to the next most correlated, or I guess more correlated. I put it behind chest to bar and overhead squats because I think chest to bar is a super crucial movement. If you're good at that gymnastics movement and that kind of volume, you're probably going to be good at muscle ups, and you're likely going to be good at handstand push-ups as well, I'd say. And then overhead squat, while you don't typically see that at regionals in that iteration, not since the workout that Taylor did at regionals with 100 overhead squats.
Jeez.
Fuck you guys, seriously.
Oh man, you just got PTSD on that. But I think what's really important about the overhead squat is that it just proves that the athlete is very structurally sound, meaning they can get into good positions that are low fatigue for them, low CNS dominant. For some people at our gym, for instance, you put them in the bottom of an overhead squat and you put them there for 10 seconds, and that's like doing a 1 rep max squat. Like they're sweating bullets, they're hanging on for dear life. Like that's just really hard for them to do.
You gotta have that shoulder mobility and that hip mobility.
Exactly, and ankles. Yeah. I mean, there's so much that goes into being in an upright torso position in the bottom of a squat, which carries over to the Olympic lifts. It carries over to so many things. So I put that one pretty high up on the list, and then I already gave you my reasons for 14.5 being that pure work capacity piece, and then my most correlated, all of our most correlated was number 4. So let's do this. Forrest, in order, most correlated to least correlated. Give it to me. Your list. Go.
4, 1, 2, 3, 5.
Caleb?
4, 1, 2, 5, 3.
And Taylor, pull that from memory.
You guys have thrown me off now. 14.4, then 14.2, then
God
14.
Dang it. Such an amateur.
14.5, then 14. What did I leave out? Then 14.1, and then 14.3 was last.
Okay, and so yeah, we were very similar on that.
We flip-flopped.
I went 4.
The second,
Yep,
third one.
I went 4, 5, 2, 1, 3. Any of you guys have anything to add to that? I mean, I know we spent quite a bit of time on it, more than we probably thought we would.
I would just say.
Only thing I'll add to.
Everyone's got something to add. Okay.
I'll back off this one.
No, the only
Okay.
reason I was gonna. The only thing I was gonna say is as you were talking about 14.1. The one reason I knocked it pretty far down is just that it's a snatch. It sucks. Like the whole thing sucks. But the weight is so light. Like watching videos of people doing 14.1, especially even top competitors like Sam Briggs and stuff, it doesn't really require that you be proficient in any Olympic lifting movements or have any idea of what a snatch is supposed to be. I saw so many rounded back, just awful, terrible stuff on that workout, and it had much more. In my opinion, it had much more to do with ability to suffer than it did with any sort of skill or anything at all. I mean, can you do? It was a can you do double unders workout in my mind, and can you suffer?
I understand what you're saying, but if you don't know how to keep the bar close to your body. And yeah, it is definitely a mental, like, learn to suffer kind of workout. But if you don't know how to keep the bar close to your body, then you're not gonna have you might do all right, but you're not gonna be top tier, to use the air quotes, referring to our last podcast. And also
check it out on iTunes.
Check it out, episode 7, mother effas. Yeah, and also think about the shoulder muscular capacity it takes to do 9 or 10 rounds whenever you've done so many snatches and you keep doing those double unders unbroken.
I agree, but I wouldn't put it ahead of the chest to bar overhead squat for shoulders.
Well, I just did, so come at me, bro.
14.5 either. My shoulders were more sore after both of those workouts than after 14.1. I mean, my shoulders are still sore from 14.5 because it was dumb, but that's just my thought process.
Well, I think hearing you guys talk through that, I don't know. I kind of want to bring 14.1 up a little bit, but I don't know. It's stuck behind 4, 5, and 2 for me. Yeah, good talk. Okay, let's move on. And Forrest, I'm coming at you, coming right down your pipe.
Come at me, brah.
We asked Forrest to do a little homework before this episode, and he bitched and he moaned
A lot.
but he got it done, and let's see just how well he did. We asked Forrest to program out the CrossFit Regionals competition, and I guess obviously we want him to lay down on paper the best test of fitness, fitness, if you will, that I guess that he could come up with. Forrest, are you ready to hit us with your best shot?
Yes.
Hit us with your best shot.
Before he goes, I just want to make it clear to our listeners that this is more of a social experiment, really, than any sort of programming advice. Go ahead.
And guess what, guys? Guess what? There are 135-pound snatches. 4 reps.
I gotta pull this up. I gotta pull this up on my phone.
So many reps of them. All right, so I chose 6 conditionings here.
How novel.
6 conditionings? Is that a thing?
Yes, I'm going to pick a new
WODs.
word. I'm going to rotate between WOD, conditionings, metcons, and workouts. I got a rotation, Taylor. So the first one was a couplet between snatches and bar muscle ups. 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 are the reps. So you got 10 reps of snatch at 135, 8 at 185, 6 at 225, 4 at 245, and 2 at 275, and then same
Jesus
way with
Christ.
muscle ups. Metcon 2.
Oh, no, Forrest.
Wait,
hold on.
wait. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Yeah,
God,
I mean, we
we're
would
on a
like to
time
talk
crunch here.
about. We are on a time crunch, but we'd like to talk. Okay, so what do we have? We have about 10 more minutes.
We got about,
15
we
minutes?
can squeeze
We got-
maybe
yeah,
15
15.
here. So go.
Okay, so go. Let me ask you this: the bar muscle ups, are those also 10, 8, 6, 4, 2?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you do for the people that can't hit the 275 snatch? Like, you time capping this thing?
Yeah, it sucks for them. Sorry. It's regionals.
Okay.
You gotta be able to
Alright,
snatch
fair enough.
275 at regionals now.
Yeah.
What's your boy
For a
Chris
double.
Spieler gonna do?
I guess he ain't gonna make it. He's not
yeah, but
elite.
what's next?
So he's not.
What's
So
next
he's
Shredder
not
gonna
top
do?
tier
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna
He's
program
muscle
them
snatch
out.
that shiz.
Yeah.
Is that what,
What
he's
up,
gonna
Taylor?
do? Is he gonna throw that weight over the mountains over there, Caleb?
If
Man,
coach
if
just
only
would have
coach
put him
would've
in.
put him in.
Forrest, that's not a bad workout. I'll be honest. It leaves a little bit to be desired logistically, probably.
Yeah.
I guess, maybe the athletes load their own bars or whatever it is.
Are we allowed to provide revisions, or do we just want to move on?
Let's just move on because he put a
no.
lot in here. I want to see. I want to hear all of
Okay,
this.
all right, let's move on. Yep, let's go.
Okay,
Let's
so
go.
for the
Keep going.
second, I kind of lean towards a 2K row or a run 1 mile. I said that we could also do a 500-meter row or a 400-meter run.
I don't know
I just
what
want to test.
I can't tell what Metcon 2 is because there are too many ors in this. Do this.
Yeah,
or
I know.
this.
There really is because
Like,
I couldn't decide. I wanted.
I would have wrote. You can either row 2K or row 500. I'll row 500.
Well, no, I'm saying what
Your
I want
score
to
is your
test.
Is it a
time.
pick your own ending? I
No,
do want to
these
go
are
in the
the
haunted
debates.
treehouse.
It's Forest Regionals. Choose your own adventure. Imagine you're the Hardy Boys, and
All right, so once you guys are done killing yourselves, I will explain. I couldn't decide which one I wanted to do. I just wanted to test a basic piece of function, or a basic piece of fitness, and just see, can these guys just go out and run a mile or run 400 meters? Something easy. I don't want them watching Lion King while they row a marathon. I don't want them doing thrusters before they do any of this. I just want to test something nice and basic, just like the sprint workout at the games. I want to see how they do with that. So,
No, I mean, I think that's fine. Like,
Yeah.
you're testing a certain energy system. I guess, I haven't really looked ahead too much, but hopefully you're testing something different than you're testing later on. So,
yes.
yeah. Okay.
So for 3, this would be my version of the hundreds. I said 100 calories on the Airdyne, 100 handstand push-ups, 100 pistols, and then 100 wall ball shots with a 30-pound ball and a 12-foot target, just to throw a little curveball in there.
So you basically did
Yeah.
the same hundreds as last year.
It's similar,
With
but
an
I mean,
Airdyne.
the Airdyne and the Airdyne and I think the handstand push-ups plus wall ball is going to it's going to
probably
hurt.
Different. That's a little different.
Yeah, and you threw two curveballs with a 30-pound ball and 12-foot target. I think you could just go with one curveball, make it a 30-pound ball.
Well,
And you heard it here first, Storm and Teacup. That's my projection. We're going to see a 30-pound wall ball at regionals this year.
I was kind of thinking the same thing.
Does K-Town
So-
have a 30-pound wall ball at this point?
It's actually in the mail.
Yep.
Forrest, I would like to say that this is probably the best workout that you wrote for
Really?
regionals competition. I think so. With maybe if you short it down to one curveball, like Grant said, the 30-pound, just a 30-pound.
I hate it.
Wall ball, I think would be great.
I hate it. It's just just my PTSD acting up, but I hate it. I don't like anything that's in hundreds. Like 100 pistols sucks. Like that's the worst. It's just the worst. The whole thing is the worst.
I agree. I think it is a terrible workout from an athlete perspective, but I think it is a good regionals workout. It's a good test of like just a really long grinder. I don't think it's fun for the crowd to watch. So
I think it's unhealthy for athletes is what I think it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. You don't need to have more than one of these.
So is playing professional football in the NFL, Taylor.
Dude,
well, this was the
Why
only
do you think
one that I wrote
bro?
This is the only one I wrote that's probably going over 12 to 15 minutes. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. My 4 here could take a little while, but I don't even really
Okay,
think
tell us about 4. Tell us about 4.
So 4, you got a 70-pound kettlebell. You do 50 kettlebell swings with it, and then you do 25 walking lunges with the left arm, kettlebell in the left arm. Then it's 100 chest to bar pull-ups. When you get done with that, you do 25 walking lunges with the right arm, kettlebell in the right arm, and then 50 kettlebell swings at 2 pood.
And are these lunges? Is the kettlebell overhead?
Yes, kettlebell's locked out overhead.
Okay. Here, logistically, I'm always thinking logistics on this, and I'm sorry, but instead of 25 lunges, you're probably going to put a distance
25 meters
instead, like 50 meters, 25 meters, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't see a big problem with that. I think this is going to be the same day as Metcon 3, probably. So 100 chest to bar after 100 handstand push-ups might be a little dicey.
I would switch 4 and 6, and I would cut the chest to bar to 50, and that's what I would do.
Yeah, the shoulders, man, that's just so awful on your shoulders. F that.
Well,
No, I mean, I think it would be a good. I think it would be a good final Metcon. I mean, like for the end, like I think it would be a good 6.
Okay.
I really do.
Okay.
Minus if it wasn't 100.
Okay.
And then I did this just because I don't know why we haven't seen this in regionals. To my knowledge, before regionals became more of a one like templates. Did anybody ever do any sort of back squat ladder?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So
we haven't had a back squat in the sense of like games programming, except for the very first one where they did a CrossFit total.
Yeah. So I did a back squat, and I was gonna say I want a 3 rep max back squat ladder. Different stations set up. We'll start it at 305 with 10-pound increases in each station, and then we can have some random tiebreaker, whether we want to do air squats or hand release push-ups. You know, something like with the clean, and then if you hit the clean and don't want to go on to the next clean, then you start deadlifting it as a tiebreaker. I don't care. You can pick whatever you
Double
want
unders
to be the tiebreaker there. No.
You know, like I think the reason they haven't put a back squat ladder into, I think they try and keep the strength movements a little bit more dynamic. That way there's an element of skill and speed that comes into it.
Right.
So while I do like this idea, I think it'd be really interesting if maybe it was like every other minute you have to squat a 3 rep max and it goes up, or a triple and it goes up 10 pounds per station. And then every other minute, so like odds you squat, and then evens you do some body weight movement, whether it's like muscle ups, and it increases every single time. So it's like you got 60 seconds to squat a triple starting at 305. Then you got 60 seconds to do, 10 muscle ups, and then you do another triple at 315, and then you have to do 12 muscle ups the next minute, and so on and so forth. That way you have to earn the ability to do this. I mean, squatting is a slow twitch, very pure strength oriented lift.
I twitch pretty fast when I squat, by the way. I don't know about you.
I can agree. That's an interesting idea, Caleb. I just wanted to do something once again, like basic. I don't want Sam Dancer. I don't want Sam Dancer going out there who's probably back squatting God knows what, and then having to be like, oh man, I gotta do muscle ups. I just want him to go out there and just do something basic and just be like, show me how strong your 3 rep max back squat is.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. I think you'd have to have each athlete on their own bar and their own rack, adding their own weights, because if you made it a ladder, what happens when someone fails? Like now you've got a bar on the floor. How are you going to pick it up? And
that's interesting.
So yeah, I mean, there's that aspect to it, and then I think Caleb's right. You have to, if you're programming for regionals, you have to think of the crowd. It's a spectator sport now, so you probably want something just a little more fun, a little spicier, a little sexier.
Well,
Glam it up, babe.
Let me ask you this, based on like playing to the crowd. As I remember, the clean ladder was one of the more popular events, and even the clean and jerk ladder last year. Those were two very popular events with the crowd, weren't they?
Well, because there was a skilled movement there. Like the back squat, I just think isn't as glamorous as a clean or clean and jerk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I like it. Like as a test for fitness, I think that's a great test for strength.
What
right
if
there.
Rogue made the plates have glitter in and on them while they're back squatting? Would that be flashy enough for you?
Bedazzled the plates?
Bedazzle all of it, really. The athletes, the plates, just everything. Everything's bedazzled. Would that interest you in the back squat more?
They would have my attention. Absolutely.
Nice.
Forrest, tell us about Metcon 6.
Metcon 6 is going to be 30 squat clean. I'm pulling out a little bit of an old one. It's going to be 30 squat clean and jerks at 185, and between every rep, they have to drop into a burpee.
So no touch and go chance here.
No Murskiing in this. You can't touch and go. You got to drop into a burpee.
Wow.
No one. I mean, that's a great joke. Like we all laugh, but none of our listeners will even understand that.
Every second counts. Go back and watch it.
The pre-balkers, or the non-pre-balkers, I should say. I'm sorry.
So Brandon Bergen will recognize it, and he actually texted me something funny this week, and he was like, "Man, go back and if you want to, what did he say? If you want to have a good laugh, go back and watch Every Second Counts," because he's just talking about the evolution of the sport and how far we've come. He's like, and in perfect Brandon Bergen style, typical Bergen, he goes, "Man, if I was at the 2008 games, I would have won them."
Ooh, are you trying to create another segue for
I just
yourself?
realized. I just realized I just accidentally did. So perfect segue. Forrest, your last workout sucks. Taylor, speaking of Brandon Bergen, I'm just kidding, Forrest. Speaking of Brandon Bergen, if he were to program regionals like Forrest just did, if he could program his own regionals in the Southeast, do you think he could qualify for the games?
No.
And there you
and
I have
episode
spoken.
ends.
and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, I've got nothing else. Anybody?
I did want to add one thing because Forrest's his list of workouts got me thinking. The one movement that I want to see in the open or regionals that we haven't seen yet, that I think would throw off a lot of CrossFitters because they don't do it enough, bench press. I want to see some bench press in one of those. Who turned on the water? What was that?
Good God. Forrest was like, I did my part for once. I'm done. I've clocked out.
This is him like rebelling, throwing a fit because we made him do homework. He's like, "Oh, just watch this. I'll turn the water on."
Well, I thought
Forrest,
the
let me
mic I
say,
was using.
First of all, I'm
was
proud of you. You did exponentially better than I thought you would do.
Agreed.
But I still feel like you're missing 275 for a double at the end of all those snatches. I don't even know if anyone would hit that.
Okay.
I think it
then
might be impossible.
What? So what? Then what do we? I mean, like.
I like the workout. Just make the.
I bet Rich Froning could do it.
Reps.
I mean, the time cap that I was
Maybe
thinking.
in a long
The time
time.
cap that I was thinking on this is probably 12 to 15 minutes. The 135, the 185. You have to understand that they're going to get to that pretty quickly. Like these bar muscle ups, they're probably going unbroken into the round of, I don't know, probably into the sixes. Everybody's going to rep straight through the snatches through 135 and 185 too, I think. So, I mean, they're going to get to that. They're going to have a lot of time to sit there and work on that 245.
And think about it, yeah.
No way. Like you're talking about 30 total snatches, 30 total bar muscle ups. Imagine if the weights were capped.
Not to mention the fact that it's a 30-pound jump at the end.
Imagine, Forrest, that the weight was capped at 155 for you, and you had to hit a double at the end of all that. Even starting at 95, you'd be so smoked. Like it's just dangerous.
Well, here's the thing. These are not full snatches. You can, of course, once you get to the end, they're going to be full snatches, but they can power snatch for the first few reps. So that's
not
the point.
The shoulders are still smoked, like maybe more smoked in a power snatch, honestly.
I don't know. I'm continually amazed by what some of the CrossFitters do, and I wouldn't be surprised. I honestly wanted to program a couple of things to where I wanted to program at least one thing to where I thought maybe only 2 or 3 people at each regional would be able to do it.
Dang.
Yeah,
So elitist.
So I mean, I like it. I like the workout, just like Caleb said. But I think if you tweak the weights for us, I still think that only a couple people in each region do it.
Yep.
Well, here's the most
Yeah.
important thing to remember. I am not a programmer. This is just what I want to see.
But this. I mean, I think that's why we wanted to see you do this, and you exceeded our expectations. So, give yourself a little pat on the back while you're putting on your pharmacy jacket. You lush.
Yeah. Can I go to work now? I
Yes,
need to
it's 8:30 on a Friday night, and we're gonna sign off. Forrest has to go to work.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Later.